Hello,
Hello?
sir.
Yeah, okay,
Yes, sir.
back
Mm-hmm.
again.
Okay. So,
So,
what article for this time?
but this time the number 1081.
1081.
Yeah,
Okay. Single-use plastic gloves at Paul's raised eyebrow.
yeah, actually, yes,
Mm-hmm.
that happens 2 weeks ago in Korea. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let me read the
Ooh.
article first.
Okay.
Okay, all voters must wear plastic gloves at the polling station during Wednesday's general election as a precaution
Mm-hmm.
against the coronavirus. But many people
Mm-hmm.
are voicing concerns about their impact on the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Mask-clad voters, upon arriving at one of 14,330 polling stations across the nation,
Mm-hmm.
first have to disinfect their hands with a hand sanitizer that is provided by
Mm-hmm.
election officials, and then put on
Mm-hmm.
disposable gloves before casting their ballots. After
Mm-hmm.
voting, the plastic gloves have to be discarded in a designated bin outside the station. In the
Mm-hmm.
unprecedented, unprecedented situation of
Mm-hmm.
an election to pick around 300 lawmakers coinciding with a pandemic, preventive measures
Mm-hmm.
are needed to keep the virus at bay. But there are
Mm-hmm.
concerns that huge piles of discarded gloves could cause significant harm to the environment, not to mention the
Mm-hmm.
millions of disposable masks used and thrown away every day. As more than 29 million citizens cast ballots at
Mm-hmm.
polls on Wednesday, more than 58 million
Mm-hmm.
single-use gloves are estimated to be used for the election. Earlier,
Mm-hmm.
a local NGO, Korea Zero Waste Movement, said when stacking up disposable gloves used at the election, it could be
Mm-hmm.
as tall as the height of 763 buildings, or 1.7 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
Adding voters
Mm-hmm.
should be allowed to bring their own gloves from home instead. Despite being
Mm-hmm.
aware of the concerns, health authorities defended the use of disposable gloves. I think it is
Mm-hmm.
much safer to use single-use plastic gloves that haven't been worn
Mm-hmm.
before, said Jung Kyung,
Mm-hmm.
director of the Korea Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why we are providing sanitizer and plastic gloves is because the virus could spread through hand contact. Several petitions calling for a ban on using plastic gloves during the election
Mm-hmm.
have been posted on 청와대's website. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, sir. So you are mentioning a while ago that this also happened in Korea previous weeks ago. What
Yes,
happened?
sir. Actually, 2 weeks ago, Korea, uh, it's about Korea's big election to vote for
Mm-hmm.
lawmakers.
Mm-hmm.
And then lots of medias over the world focus and
Mm-hmm.
interested in this big election because it's a big election
Mm-hmm.
and then in their common sense, it's not possible to make
Mm-hmm.
people vote
Mm-hmm.
this pandemic situation because
Mm-hmm.
to for the election, people have to gather the several place and
Mm-hmm.
then they could make some spreading of coronavirus. That's why
Mm-hmm.
Korea government prepare plastic gloves and hand sanitizer.
Mhm.
And consequently, the the election was very successful, and then there is no news about the
Mhm.
spreading or outbreak of coronavirus patients after this big election.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I supporting, and then I think government's decision is a very wise one this time as well.
Mhm. Yes. But I think they just did that. They distributed a lot of gloves and sanitizer just to ensure safety of the people who will participate to the election, right?
Just right. So without the
Yeah.
plastic gloves or hand sanitizer, then
Mhm.
there will be some patients outbreak.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. So now, sir, let's answer the comprehension question number one.
Number one, what is the issue of people regarding the disposable gloves?
Mhm.
The issue about the gloves, many people are voicing concerns about their impact on the environment. Actually,
Mhm.
yeah, I also agree with their concern, but actually this
Mhm.
time, this the election is much more important than the uh, this environment concern by the discarded
Mhm.
plastic gloves
Mhm.
because this
Yes, you are
election,
right,
yeah,
sir.
yeah,
Mhm.
elections result affect on the Korea's politics for
Mhm.
years. So
Mhm.
we need to proceed it this election this time.
Mhm. Yes, because it will also help your country to be more prosperous and to be in a better situation if you have good people leading it, right?
Yes, right, exactly.
Yes. Okay. How about number
Okay,
2, sir?
number two. How will the voters do the preventive measures before casting their ballots? Actually,
Mhm.
mm, to yeah, first they have to dis- disinfect their hands with the hand sanitizer that is provided
Mhm.
by election officials, and then put on disposable
Mhm.
gloves before casting their ballots.
Mhm. Okay, very good. They are asked to make sure that they sanitize their hands
Yes,
before
right.
they vote.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, and number 3, sir?
Number three, what alternative did the local NGO Korea Zero Waste Movement give about the use of gloves? Actually,
Mhm.
mm,
Mhm.
the 정은경, no, 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 NGO,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
several petitions calling for a ban on using plastic gloves during the election
Mhm.
have been posted on Changwade's website.
Mhm.
Mm,
Okay. Yeah.
and
So here.
okay,
Mhm.
and then the NGO, yeah, actually they
Mhm.
said when stacking of disposable
Mhm.
gloves used at the election, it could be as tall
Mhm.
as the height of 763 buildings or 1.7
Mhm.
kilometers. Adding
Mhm.
voters should be allowed to bring their own gloves from home instead. Mm,
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so that's what the NGO in the local
yeah,
Korea
yeah.
did to the youth clubs. Okay.
Yes, right,
And
exactly.
here, sir, aside from you agree that they prioritize the safety of each person, what are your insights about the this news? That's the first question and the discussion part.
Yeah. Mm, about this news. So even though many people agree and many people mm, share
Mhm.
the idea, is very um, reasonable, but there are also some
Mhm.
people who think the situation differently, in a different
Mhm.
view.
Mhm.
So sometimes
Yes,
it
but
is
I think you
the
are right.
different view.
Mhm.
Yeah, different view is
Mhm.
also help people, humans behavior, and then make the human nature environment
Mhm.
better.
Mhm. Yes, sir, you are right. And even though people have different opinions, we should always remember why we are doing some certain like actions, right? If it's for
Yes,
the
right.
good of more people and to provide better situations for the Korean people, I think we should just agree to it and everything will just follow. Mhm.
Yes, right. Okay.
Okay. How about number 2, sir?
Okay. What was your personal experience when you voted for your desired politician party list? Mm,
Mhm.
for this time, I joined the free election. Actually, before the main election, we have
Mhm.
free election for 2 days during weekends
Mhm.
for people
Mhm.
who would be very busy at the election day. So I joined the free
Mhm.
election. So I voted for my desired politicians and party, and
Mhm.
then they won the election. So I'm really
Mhm.
satisfied with my decision and result.
Wow. So the group that you supported won.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes. Okay. Next one, sir, and the last
Yes.
question for the discussion part.
Number three, do you think the preventive measures they implemented were enough? Mm,
Mhm.
so this time the preventive measures were very good. Uh, that's
Mhm.
enough because there is
Mhm.
no case of coronavirus patients outbreak after the election.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Oh.
President Trump in America, he is also
Mhm.
monitoring of the this Korea's election because
Mhm.
he is expecting second presidency term end of this
Mhm.
year. He's also
Mhm.
preparing the big election in America, and then he's worrying about if they can proceed this election in this
Mhm.
coronavirus pandemic. But
Mhm.
so now he's so confident they can proceed presidency election in this year because they see
Mhm.
Korea's election results.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. And I think your country is really doing great when it comes to pursuing the election at the same time providing these preventive measures. There are just people who are overreacting about the environmental effects. It's like
Yes,
it's
right.
really a small problem during this
Yes,
time.
right. That's what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really small problem
Yes.
versus, yeah, the result of the election.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
Mm-hmm.
we
Yes.
can see
So
in 40 minutes. Well,
after an hour. Yes.
after an hour.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir. See you later.
see you later. Bye bye.
Bye-bye, sir.
Yep.